Hello you guys, welcome back. Today's video we are going to be planting a large shrub. I got this big shrub from a friend yesterday. I was helping her with her front garden and planting a bunch of things, and there was a shrub she didn't want anymore, so I took it. Caleb wasn't the happiest about that when he picked me up, and I was like, hey, by the way, we're putting a shrub in the car, but we're gonna plant that today. It has, you know, like hardly any soil on the roots other than what we left with, so that needs to get in the ground, even though the flower bed I want to do it in isn't a flower bed anymore, or yet. It's not a flower bed yet. That'll be coming probably in the next week or so. I'll make this flower bed, but that's what we're gonna start with. Then I have a Bareroot rose that I actually got from Aldi. It was like $8.50, and so I've kind of fallen in love with roses this year. The Bareroot roses that I got from Costco were, I think, 2 for $16, so this is very comparable price wise, and it just looks absolutely beautiful. So I'll show you that, and we're not going to actually plant that in the ground today because, again, the flower bed that I want to put it in isn't quite ready. So what I'm going to do is soak the roots for a while I'm doing the bush, and then we will put it in a pot for now. So here's my wheelbarrow and my big bush. As you can see, the roots are exposed. And here is the rose that I got. It looks really nice. There's 4 large canes, and it is called Cathedral Bells. Like, look how freaking beautiful that is. So we're gonna be putting it in this, what will be a flower bed here along the side of the house. Obviously right now it's home to all my seedlings and plants that are gonna be planted out, but I want to have a flower bed. Let me back you up. So here's my vegetable garden. I want to have a flower bed all along the house here, so that'll be another video. It'll probably be 2 to 3 feet wide, or like out from the house, because the beds are 3 or 6 feet, so that would leave 3 feet or a little more from the house, which is this width. This is 3 feet, so that would be how much your walkway would be. And yeah, so we're gonna keep the raspberry in the pot. We're gonna move it over there. We have 2 knockout roses that I got as well for this space, but we'll talk more about that later. But the bush is going to actually go in the little graveyard area of this planter that I ended up not using. But we're going to put it in the corner here, because then I'll do all flowers all over there. So this will kind of like anchor the space. So I got to move all this stuff, dig the hole, and put this bush in here. I think it'll be really nice evergreen foliage for this space as well, because everything else won't be evergreen and this will be, so that'll be nice. I was gonna start unloading everything and moving stuff around, but then I realized we need to soak this rose. So I have a bucket with no holes at the bottom, and we're gonna put some water in it. Why was that on soaker? Oh my goodness. I just got water all over me. Oops. Wow. Well, that was fun. So I'm filling that with water, and then we'll unpack this rose. It's got wire here, so we'll just undo this. All right, that should be filled enough. And then I'm just gonna rip this, but keep the label so I remember what it is. Okay, so then we'll just unwrap it. It has like the medium that they ship it in, which isn't really dirt, it's just kind of, I don't know what it is. And then when you put it in the water, that helps kind of get all that off of it and rehydrate the roots. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna leave it in there the whole time we're planting, and you want to let this sit for a couple hours, so might have to come back to this later tonight. cleared a few weeds out, cleared, you know, stuff that was around it. And I think that's the placement I want to put it, kind of on that corner there. The yardstick is there to show me 3 feet or a yard. So as long as I plant it, so the bricks will be here like I have everywhere else in the house. Plant it kind of centered there. It has more room to go towards the house, and then obviously if it goes past the bricks, I'm totally fine with that. I just want to make sure obviously it's not too close to the house, and this bed can't be, you know, it can't be 6 feet wide because it's only 6 feet to the beds, I guess, if that makes sense. So it's got to be about 3 feet out. So we'll dig. I'm not worried about the, you know, small weeds or anything. We're gonna do sheet mulching with cardboard, and that is the drip line that goes to the raised beds, and we're just gonna feed off of that to do drip later on. But this had no water to it. It was just decently established since they built their house in 2020. So it's been in the ground for several years and was established. Obviously now I dug it up, so I'll have to water it. But it's been sitting there for half a day and literally shows no signs of duress. So that's a good sign. So I'm trying to dig this hole, and it is very hard ground over here. There's been like nothing other than weeds, and I'm trying to wet it, and as you can see, the water is just pooling right there. It's not even penetrating the ground because it's so hard and compacted, I guess. So I'm really trying to dig this, but I might need to just wait for it to seep in a little bit before I can like actually dig this. That was so much harder than I expected it to be, but it's in the ground and looks good. So Caleb just got home though, so I think my projects might be cut short for now because we might go on a walk, but I'll probably end up doing more stuff after that. All right, I took a big break. We ended up going for a walk, hanging out for a bit, and cooked dinner. So it's like right before dark, 7:30-ish, and I need to get this rose out of the water and into a pot. So that's all we're gonna do for the rest of this video. Got 2 little things done today. That would be good. Not as much as I thought we were gonna get done, but that's okay. So let me show you me potting this up. Alrighty, so here's what the roots look like after I soaked it. Whenever I'm looking for a root or for a rose Bareroot, I just look for big strong canes and then some signs of growth. You can see a few little shoots coming, but not too many because then it has time to acclimate. So all we're gonna do is pot it. And then I'll show you when I plant it later on, probably in the next week or so. So I'm just gonna put a little bit in the bottom. And then this is the tricky part. Place it around it. this doesn't have to be perfect because it's temporary, but it's just something to give it time to kind of start getting acclimated and growing some roots so that we're not like letting it sit in that medium for too long. So now we just need to water this in really well. The main thing with Bareroot roses is just keep them really nice and moist when you're first getting them, because like think about it, they just don't have as many roots as normal. So it's really taking time to develop those roots. They need to stay nice and moist. And so I'll water this every day because it's warmer here. It's like 75. I'm gonna get into the 80s next week. But like I said, I will be planting this out probably in the next week. So I'll show you that process as well. But it's so straightforward. Highly recommend Bareroot roses. This is my first year doing it. But I have 4 thriving in the garden right now. And I just saw this at Aldi and I couldn't pass it up because it looks so beautiful. So anyway, that's it for today's video. I know it was short and sweet. I'm so glad I got that bush in the ground. That was a hassle. And we got this rose all set up, and we'll have more later on. I have a lot of stuff to do in the next few weeks, so hopefully you stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in a video very, very soon. Bye, guys.